Good morning. Okay, so for today we are going to go out into deep space and visit Neptune. And Neptune has a moon called Triton. And here we go. Neptune looks a little bit like Jupiter. It's a gas giant, so it's a massive beast of a planet. Um, and you can see that it's a little bit like Jupiter in its shape. As far as you got this eye of this storm going through, and so Neptune is usually seen as kind of bluish, as you can see in the images off of Google, right? And it's got this little storm brewing, right? It's a gas giant out there, way out there in space. And so today, what we're going to do is we're going to consider orbital speed and then by looking at the moon of Neptune, which is Triton. And then we're going to answer the question, well, what if NASA wanted to send an orbiter to orbit around, like a satellite, to orbit around um, Neptune? How fast would the velocity of the orbit have to be? And learn a little bit about orbits and satellites and orbital velocity. So the way we are going to attack this is we are going to start off by looking at Triton. So Triton is going in a circle around Neptune. And so we start off by looking at, well, what's the thing that's making it go into a circle? And so we start off by saying, okay, so we have, I'm going to go a little bit thicker pen here. So we have a centripetal force on Titan. A centripetal force means that it's going in a circle. So it's the force that's causing it to turn. And so the equation for centripetal force is the mass of the object that's doing the turn times the velocity of the object squared. So its mass is 2.1 times 10 to the 20th kilograms, and the velocity is what we're going to try to figure out in a little bit, divided by the radius of the orbit. Here's the radius of the orbit, 3.54 times 10 to the 8th meters. Okay, we're going to try to find a simpler equation. We're going to simplify the equation by considering something else. Well, what is this force? What is the force that causes the centripetal force? Well, it's gravity. And so what's the equation for gravity? So looking at that one. So the equation for gravity is capital G, which is the universal gravitational constant, times the mass of Neptune, times the mass of Triton, divided by the distance between them squared, which happens to be the same distance. So some of these things are the same. So let's go ahead and let's look at, I'm going to change this to purple to kind of combine the equations. Let's go ahead and look at what happens if we make Fc equal to Fg, because it's the truth. I mean, Fc is equal to Fg because they're the same thing. The force of gravity is causing this centripetal force, so they are actually the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rewrite this like this. The mass of Triton, which is going at this velocity squared, divided by the radius of the orbit, is equal to this one, which is the universal gravitational constant, times the mass of Neptune, times the mass of Triton, divided by the radius of the orbit. Okay, so right away, once I make these two equations, which I can do because they're equal, right, as soon as I make these two equations equal, I know that, okay, I can actually cancel out some things in this to simplify the equation. Remember, I am actually trying to solve for velocity. So my question is, what is the velocity of Triton going to be? So I'm looking to get this velocity by itself. So the two masses are both a mass of Triton. So mathematically, I can cancel those out. This radius is the same as this radius, but there are two here. So I'm going to cancel out this one, and I'm going to cancel out the square, so there's just one left. Finally, since I'm trying to get velocity by itself, the way I get rid of the square is I square root both sides. And so if I square root both sides like that, I'm going to end up with the idea that velocity is by itself is going to be equal to the square root of the gravitational constant, g, times the mass of the planet, divided by the radius of the orbit. Okay, so let's see how that actually turns out when we try an equation. So how fast is Triton moving as it orbits Neptune? Okay, so our equation is G. Well, G is 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11. That never changes. I'm going to write it like this, E negative 11. And it's times the mass. What mass is this? That mass is the mass of Neptune. Since the mass of Triton actually cancel out, it's not even present in this situation. So the mass of Neptune actually is 1 times 10 to the 26 kilograms. The Earth is something like 6 times 10 to the 24th kilograms. So this is many times more massive than the Earth. It's a gas giant, of course. And so the mass of Neptune is 1 E 26 kilograms divided by the radius, which is the radius of the orbit, which is 3.54 E 8. And so if we do this in our calculator, you're going to do it. And I'm going to just go ahead and do it. I don't know. It kind of validates it for you guys to remember what we're doing. So 6.67 E negative 11 times the mass of Neptune, 1 E 26, divided by the radius, which is 3.54 E 8, equals, then I square root it, and I get 4,340 meters per second. And so 4,340 meters per second. I'm going to make you do that on your calculator on your own, because all the answers in the quiz are going to want your answers up to including 2 decimals. So make sure you do it on a calculator by yourself. So I didn't give away. Spoiler alert! I'm not giving away the decimals. You got to go do that yourself. Okay. Okay, so the other point was, okay, what if NASA wanted to send an orbiter? How does this relate to NASA wants to send an orbiter? It's going to come in a satellite motion. How do we figure out orbital speed? So we use the same equation. This equation works for any thing that is going to orbit around Neptune. Of course, we've got to change the radius in order to get a different velocity. So we're going to put this radius a lot closer in. We're going to be 2.47 times 10 to the 7th meters away from the center of mass of Neptune. So let's go ahead and do the same equation. And so once again, we have V is equal to, and I'm not going to write out 6.67 because it's G, and you got to get used to the fact that that's the universal gravitational constant, G. And so 1 E24 is the mass of Neptune. Now remember, the mass of the satellite is canceled out just like the mass of Triton was canceled out. We don't need the mass. We just need the mass of the object that it's rotating around, that it's orbiting. So this radius changes. So this top part is the same. Ooh, I put a 24 there. That is not a 24. That is a 26. 24 is the multiplication factor if I was going to do the Earth, because the Earth is times 10 24th. This is times 10 26. Big mistake. Good thing I caught it this time. The R is the radius of the orbit, which is 2.47 E7. Okay, so I do that one on my calculator, and since it's closer, we're going to find out that it has to be much faster. It's much closer. It has to be much faster in order to not crash in and fall into the orbit, into Neptune's surface, which is a gas giant. So it's going to be like an atmosphere. Okay, so 6.67 EE negative 11 times same mass 1E 26 divided by a much closer distance 2.47 E7 equals, and then I square root that, and I get 16,432 meters per second, which is pretty blazing fast, right? So V equals 16,430. It's actually 433. If I round it off, 433 meters per second. Once again, do it in your calculator because you got to show up the 2 decimals in your answer. So 16,433. So that's blazing, right? So The thing we want to end off talking about with here is about the equation in general. So what does the equation say? What kind of statement does this make, right? A lot of people think it's kind of weird because if you think about it, this velocity is related to the square root. Square root is going to be the same anytime. It's just a mathematical equation times g, and g doesn't change. G is just a gravitational constant. It doesn't change anywhere. So what is the whole idea of how satellite motion works? You only need the mass of the planet it's orbiting, and that's kind of strange to people. Why doesn't the mass matter for? I mean, for the actual orbital? Well, why doesn't it matter? I'm going to tell you about that in a second. And of course, you need the radius, the distance of the radius of the object. And so, if you think about this, right now we got people on Earth, right? And so, if you were to take the Earth and just make it disappear, like right now, the Earth just disappears, but all the people are still on the outside. Where would we go? Right? Would we fall into the to Earth? What would happen? So obviously, besides not having any air to breathe, we have some problems there. But since we're going in a revolution around the sun, we would just continue to go at that same speed and the same distance. This kind of a weird concept, but let's kind of draw it here. So if we have all the people on Triton, which is nobody. Let's say there's some people on Triton though, and Triton disappeared. They wouldn't just fall in. They have this velocity because they're on Triton. They have this sideways velocity, right? So they will actually continue to make that orbit. And so here they are out in space, just orbiting. So why is that important? That the only thing that matters is the mass of the thing that they're orbiting. Think about this. If you were in, let's say, a spacecraft, let's say we take the International Space Station and we bring it in here to this distance. Let's say we took 3 different spacecrafts and we're all out there in 3 different spacecrafts, and we're all trying to orbit at the same time in the same place. If we had different masses, if a mass was important, if we had different masses, we couldn't orbit together, right? Your spacecrafts would have to have a different speed in order to orbit, right? Your body, once it left the International Space Station, it would begin to fall. It would begin to differentiate. It would begin to automatically go away from the International Space Station, which would make huge differences in how space acts. So it doesn't matter whether it's your body outside the International Space Station or the International Space Station or a bigger massive ship or a smaller massive ship out there, as long as they're all going the same exact velocity, they're all going to rotate around at the same distance and in the same locked into this orbit. And so that's actually pretty cool. So once again, just looking at this, the only thing that matters is these items. The velocity is going to be contingent not upon the mass that is revolving around, but upon the mass that it is revolving around. So it's not Triton's orbital velocity is dependent upon Neptune. This orbiter is dependent upon Neptune. What if we were putting an orbiter around Triton itself, which is definitely a possibility? Then it would only depend upon the mass of Triton itself. And so go ahead and take a look at the quizzes. One of the big things you're going to have to do in the test is to be able to know that this equation is not an equation that's a given. This equation is an equation that is done by combining these two in order to get this. So I would definitely say that this is one thing here that you're going to need to be able to do. And on the quiz, it says, hey, check it out. Make sure you can do this, because if you can't put these two equations together to get that equation, then you're going to have trouble on that question on the test. Okay, so go ahead and give it a try. Head off to Neptune and learn how to do satellite motion. Have at it.